So recently I kind of got back into like my horror era again, and I started watching horror movies a lot. I was on Netflix, you know, scrolling, and then I came past Black Phone. I was like, what the fuck is Black Phone? That shit sounds ass. And then my friend told me, this movie is a fucking masterpiece. And I went, okay. And I realized it's made by Blumhouse. So I said, okay, I don't know about this. Because Blumhouse is either really good or really fucking shit. I'm still upset about the Five Nights at Freddy's situation. What the fuck was that? Bonnie, get over here and help me make a fort. Today, I want to talk about why this movie is actually a fucking masterpiece. I tend to find series like this actually really scary because I feel like you can imagine yourself in real life situations with these type of things. Now, Black Phone is one of the creepiest films I've seen because I feel like anyone could be kidnapped on the side of a street by a random stranger, especially if you're a child due to more vulnerability. There are things that are in this movie like intensity, threat, and danger. The premise revolves around a child kidnapper. This guy is called the Snatcher, and he wears all black. And how he captures his victims is he waits for a kid on the road in a black van with black balloons and literally grabs them. He trips over. This scared the fuck out of me. He trips over and goes, whoopsies. And then literally the kid comes over and goes, are you okay? And he goes, go, you bitch! Okay, that is fucking horrifying. Raise them where I can't, put him to sleep, puts him in the back of his van, take him to his creepy place. It turns out the place he took them, where he buries the bodies, is opposite the house he was living in. And what's creepy about this is he plays a game with them. He sits there with his top off, half naked. I don't know what this kinky shit is, okay? I'm sorry. He sits there with half his top off, and basically, at one point, he leaves the kid in the basement. He leaves the door unlocked on purpose so he comes up so he can have an excuse to beat the fucking living shit out of him. And keep in mind, there had been children before, and this movie revolves around this phone. The kid does escape at the end, but there's one point that, oh my god, this point had me on my fucking seat. I was freaking the fuck out. I just couldn't contain myself. I was like a little boy seeing Ariana Grande perform on stage for the first time. I was so excited. So what happens is the boy runs up the stairs, and while the Snatcher is sleeping as he waits for his game, he falls asleep. He runs past the door, and he has to unlock the door. And just as he unlocks the door, he escapes! Fucking escapes! But guess who wakes up? The Snatcher, as soon as it happens, and he's like, yeah, bitch, you're dead. And I was like, oh my god, run, fucking run! And then he's running, screaming out for people, and people start to turn their lights on. They think something's going on. He puts him on the ground, he puts a knife to his throat and says, if you scream, I'll slit you. And I was like, oh my god, get him out, get him out. This whole movie had me on my fucking seat. The anxiety I felt for this movie was insane. It was disgusting. I was so scared. I felt like I was the little kid in danger. Just looking at this child, I felt so bad for him because he already had abusive dad at home, which also made this more scarier and more worse for this kid's trauma. We've literally just given this kid a reason to fucking kill himself at this point, and I feel so bad. This movie just takes me to a whole nother level of horror. You can imagine yourself in those type of situations, you know what I mean? Like, I could imagine walking down the street, I'm chilling, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh shit, KFC gets fucking kidnapped. Claustrophobic setting of this makes this intensely scary and gives the viewer so much anxiety while watching. Much of the film takes place in a small enclosed basement where the boys are held captive. These evoke feelings of being trapped and claustrophobic for the viewer continuously throughout, and you just feel like you're on the edge of your seat constantly. When I was sitting there and he's in this small room, I'm like, fuck, how is he getting out of this? What is he gonna do? Now on top of this, we have the supernatural horror elements. Now this is where the story gets a bit weird because there's ghosts and stuff, and this is where it kind of comes out to the unrealistic stereotype. And I don't know how I felt about this because it was meant to take itself seriously, and then we have ghosts and shit. I don't know how I feel about that, but then again, guess some people believe in paranormal, some people don't, and I've had some paranormal experiences. I'm pretty sure my house is haunted. So if there's a ghost in here, you know, I'm sorry, listen. The victims come through this voice in the phone, and that's what makes it so weird because every child that's died before, and there were multiple childs that died, some the boy knows, some the boy doesn't. I forgot the boy's name. I think it's Finney. With the boys, he just hears their voices and they tell him what to do, but that's how he actually escaped. I'm pretty sure it's all a hallucination. I could be wrong. If I am wrong, correct me in the comment section and I will give you a kiss. This is what makes it so terrifying because they're telling him how to escape and they're telling him all the experiences of their death. That's why he knows when he goes up the stairs to not go up the stairs when the grabber leaves the door open, because he's literally like, you come up here, I'm about to do some kinky shit to you. We better get 50 Shades of Grey, bitch. He knew not to go up there. Making the main plot about children and a real life grabber also makes this just so much more horrifying because as a child, I feel like if I was to have a kid and I knew my kid was out there by itself, thinking about these scenarios are disgusting for me, and I can understand why parents would feel so afraid. Now this adds to child endangerment. Anytime child is depicted in life-threatening situations, it can provoke anxiety in viewers, especially parents. And you know, I'd understand that if I was fully a parent, because you know, if you're a dad, you're a mom, you probably thinking these things on a natural daily basis. You tell your kid, don't walk over there, Johnny across the street will grab you and put his hand up your ass. Now also building suspense and dread throughout the horror film is just insane how they do build an atmosphere of fucking tension. Suspense and impending dread is literally on every corner of this movie. Cinematography and sound design really made me feel like I was not watching Blue film. This movie just felt too good to be a Blumhouse movie. I was like, what the fuck? They cooked. I think overall the reason this movie gives you so anxiety is because the contrast between it as well. The start of how it's something bad happens, something good normally tends to come. With this movie, it's bad and then bad because at the start it's bullied, he gets thrown around, he gets beat. Whoa, hold the fuck up. This is for another video, okay? You got a wrong movie. Video coming soon on Scream if you want it. So, you know, you better scream on that like button. Make sure you turn the bell on. I love you. Kids, and it's just really sad to look at. And, you know, a lot of people can relate to these type of situations because they're very fucked up situations that happen to a lot of people. And Finney just continuously gets bullied. But his sister comes in because she's a fucking goat, man. She comes in and goes, yeah! That's my fucking brother. She was a goat, but then she gets her ass kicked as well. So she's like, oh, I'm gonna protect my brother and then get protected. She goes home. Dad starts beating the fuck out of her as well. Bro, this dad abuses her so badly. He's whipping her with the belt. You know, the old-fashioned style my mom would do it. You know what I mean? Actually, you know, it literally made me feel like I was taking a blast from the past. You know, when I would scream on the fucking Xbox or some shit, my mom would come through, shut the fuck up and smack me. I'd be like, okay, damn, man. I felt that pain for the screen. That shit hurt. It hurt me. You know, I felt that. He got hit. I felt the pain. You know what I mean? I feel like I got a repercussion. Go for some traumatic stuff. And then you're thinking, okay, maybe it's starting to look better for Finney. Finney has this one friend who protects him. He's a really good guy. And this still is creating this fear of anxiety because you don't know when the bullies are coming. You don't know when they're going to approach because they just come at random times. And when that guy, that boy is not there, his friend that can protect him, that knows like karate or something, it's like a fucking descendant of fucking Cobra Kai or some shit. I was just looking like, how the fuck is this kid gonna get out of this situation? I was scared for him the whole fucking time. After he gets out of the situation, I'm like, oh, he's okay. Walking down the street, he's the grabber. Oh shit, I tripped. He's like, oh, do you need a hand? Because, you know, being a good human, you should be. Unless it's a fucking guy dressed in all black while black van. Loaded diaper. No, that's the wrong movie. I still don't understand how the police didn't catch up to this guy because literally he had a black van, black balloons, and he was terrorizing the neighborhood. How the fuck did they? These have got to be the worst police I've ever seen in my life. They have got to be as worse as the ones from fucking It. But the point I'm trying to make here is the anxiety driven through this is fucking insane. The film's dealing with abduction, imprisonment, torture, and murder of fucking children. That's a horrible concept. An incredibly deserving, anxiety-evoking subject matter that plays on primal fear. Deceptions of child abuse and violence against the most vulnerable and innocent. It's horrible. And then the realistic portrayal, horror films with supernatural villains, the antagonist, the grabber, most realistic human predator, making his actions feel more plausible and closer to home. Like I was saying earlier about how this feels so real and gritty and horrible. You know, at the end, they do catch him, they do catch the grabber, but he literally kills his brother because his brother, okay, this is the part that's stupid as fuck. Gotta be the biggest dumbass of all time. I find out who the grabber is the whole time in a movie. He's living with him the whole time. It's his brother, and he didn't even realize it downstairs. He never checked the fucking basement once. This stupid fuck! Alright, sorry, that pissed me off. Not to mention, this movie also gives me Stranger Things vibe. I'm not gonna lie, and I really like that. I really like the theme of this vibe, you know, the aesthetic and how it played out. It really felt like the 1970s, and I really liked that idea. I thought that was really cool. I think the most mysterious part of this movie is, though, how the grabber's motivation are never really identified. It's almost like he does it out of fun and pleasure, which makes it even more creeper. Because there's clearly some psychotic illness with him, and he's clearly dealing with some sort of borderline personality disorder. But the thing is, he never actually reveals his motivation, and he never says why he does. Finney, at the end, because he learned from all of the mistakes of the other dead children, he beats the fuck out of this guy. He makes him bite the curb, he beats the shit out of him, and it's so fucking amazing to see. You don't understand how hyped that was. I was rooting for Finney the whole time, bro. I saw that at the end. I was like, no! Beat him up! Beat him up! Beat him up! Oh my god, this shit was hype. He was beating the fuck out of him, and he planned it so smart. He made him fall into a hole where he broke his leg. Oh my god, Finney is so smart. It was beautiful. Finney escapes and meets his sister, and it's just a nice ending for like such a horrible movie. Just overall, this movie can really play on your true fears and anxiety. And I think when it comes to real life situations of people being kidnapped, people being RAPED'd or SA'd, these real life situations tend to happen a lot by disgusting people. And I think this is what makes this movie so fucking scary. I just think it intensifies it 10 times more. And I think that's where you can find the ultimate fear of this movie. And that's why I think this movie gives you the most anxiety and fear that I've watched in a very, very long time.